Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to another Nerd Nation stream. Today we're talking Discovery Season 3, Episode 11, the Citadel, or Sukal. It's got two names depending on which IND database or which movie database you're looking at. It's got a couple of names, but who cares about that? Let me introduce you to my colleague. It is Cousin Cheeto. Hello, Cousin Cheeto. Great.
What's up?
Now, Cousin Cheeto, I'll usually, you know how I usually do. I like to basically talk about the episode and go on about some stuff. But you said you had some thoughts, so let's just get your thoughts out of the way. This is a spoiler review, but I want to get before I start going into the play-by-play of the episode. Let me just hear what your thoughts are, Bob. Get out.
I say every week that I have thoughts. So
okay.
My thoughts.
Last week you were desperate to say something, but you got something to say today.
No, I mean nothing in particular. I mean, I'll mention things as we go through. I mean, I thought overall it was a good episode. So I mean, but we can get into details as you're going through it.
All right. Let's go then. So this episode starts with the continuation of Philippa Georgiou's wake, because she is technically dead if she's gone back in time. So whilst they're having their wake, we focus on Adira, and she sees Gray again, and Gray basically tried to explain to Adira about what's happening to him, but we never really get an idea of what he's going on about, and I believe that'll be left for another episode, so we'll leave that as that. But then we get some exposition, a quick information pops up whilst they're in 10 forward, and it's to do with the Kelpian ship they're focusing on. And Stamets finds out that there's somebody alive on that Kelpian ship, and then Saru has to explain that the red dots we saw on that previous Kelpian weren't radiation red dots. Those red dots represent pregnancy, and it's very likely that the kid that she gave birth to is the person who's still alive on that Kelpian ship. So very recklessly, Saru just goes straight in there. They spore drive to that location. There's a lot of fucking radiation in this location, and it's fucking up their ship. And Saru's very determined to find this person and help him, and the ship's getting a lot of damage. Book decides to go in his ship, being a more futuristic ship, to go find out at least the coordinates of this place. So he goes in, finds the coordinates, gets back to Discovery, and they discover that the planet, which is around this Kelpian ship, is made of fucking dilithium, and this could possibly be the source of the burn. And then we hit the opening credits. What do you think of that opening, Bob?
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I don't like how they're making Saru very impulsive when it comes to the Kelpian. But I feel like Saru's kind of past that point where he would be like that. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. It was nice, adventurous. It was kind of, actiony. Very, it gave me very big Star Trek Insurrection, Wrath of Khan vibes, well, not really Wrath of Khan, because, that was more battle strategy, but just like the Nebula and everything, and they're trying to get in there. And I almost thought they said it was the Mutara Nebula, which is the one from Star Trek 2. And I was like, oh, that's a callback. But then they said it again, and I had a V in front of it or something. So it's not the same Nebula. But yeah, I mean, the opening sequence was good. I mean, the wake of Georgiou, meh. I felt like there was a little more focus on some of the side characters, which I love. I love it when they focus more on the side characters, even in these moments. Kayla and gosh, I can't remember the other I think tactical officer or operations officer right next to her. What is her name? Why can't I never remember it?
I can never remember it either. And we talk about Detmer, and her mate.
Yeah, Detma. Yeah. I mean, I call her Kayla, but yeah, I mean, it was good to see them. It was good to see them in a pinch like that. Like they're not being fired at. They're not being, whatever. It's more of a stressful situation because they're trying to get through the nebula. So I thought that was great. So yeah, that was it.
Okie dokie. So after the credits, we get some more information on the burn. This information has been sent to the Admiral. He's a little bit worried about Tilly, obviously being the acting captain, while she's, being in charge of the ship, while Saru goes down to the Kelpian ship. Obviously, him being a Kelpian is a big advantage. This is why he's going on the away mission. And he's just a bit concerned about Osara, because Osara has also been attacking the Kelpian homeworld, and that's obviously because she wants to. Osara herself wants to lure Discovery to the Kelpian homeworld so they can steal the spore drive. But the Admiral, reassures Saru, "Listen, mate, don't worry, we're on it. We'll do what we can to look after them. We'll take care of it." And Saru basically says, "Okay, he's fine with that." We then quickly go to the medical bay, and we see Grudge has been taken care of by the vet or the doctor. There's a good thing about the doctors in this era; they don't have to be vets, but they need to know every fucking species. So animals are fine with them too. Mike basically tells Book in this moment as well that she's a little bit worried about Saru. But what I mean, this is kind of fine coming from Mike, considering she's the queen of fucking breaking the rules and going rogue. But she's a bit worried about Saru not being, the captain he's supposed to be. But you know what? She's right. She's right. Even though she's a hypocrite, she's right.
Well, I like the fact where she's like, she's got this mentality of like, it takes one to know one, and she's like, that's what worries me, is that he's acting like me right now. Like, that's the vibe I got.
Exactly, and he's supposed to be the one who's got to keep it together. Only I'm allowed to fucking go rogue.
Burnham show.
Yeah, exactly. So, sorry, I lost my notes there a little bit. We quickly cut to Stamets and Culber, and they're also arguing because Stamets is going on this away mission as well, and obviously there's so much radiation about. Sorry, I apologize. Culbert's going on this away mission, and there's so much radiation about Stamets is worried. But Culbert's also telling Stamets, "Listen, I need to do this for myself. I went through a lot of shit. I've been resurrected like Jesus Christ. So I need to fucking sort my shit out here." Are
you getting a hair?
I apologize. No, I do apologize. Sorry, I'm trying to make sense of my notes.
Well, that's a task in and of itself.
Yes, I do apologize. The final pep talk we get is between Mike and Tilly. See, Tilly's going to be taking charge of the ship, and she needs to get some advice from somebody who's been second in command. What's it like and stuff. And obviously, Mike is the right person to ask. And Mike gives her a pep talk, and then also tells Tilly about the magic rivet underneath the fucking handle or the armrest of the captain's chair. Rub that magic rivet, and everything will be all fucking good. So, yeah, the magic rivet. What do you think about all of those little scenes before we continue?
I mean, I've said from the beginning, I think that Tilly being first officer makes no sense. The problem is that I like her I wish she was a commander. I wish she would have started off as a lieutenant commander or something, and then got promoted in this season to commander.
What you're saying is playing out in the episode, though. It makes no sense. Fucking the Admiral looked and thought, "What the fuck? This girl was an ensign in engineering, and now she's doing command duty as fucking first officer. What the fuck?" Yeah, even he acknowledged that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But I like Tilly, and I like her in this role, because what you'll get to later is a great exchange between characters, and it just shows that the actress who plays Tilly, she's just, I mean, I know she's shown it from the Mirror Universe episodes, but gosh, she's just got such good ability, to act. And I mean, it's I'm trying to think of oh God, I had somebody who I was thinking about when I watched it this morning, who it felt like someone who you were like, that person can be a command person, and then they went and they did it, and you're like, oh shit, that person can be a command person, but
Harry Kim.
Wasn't Kim. I want to say it was.
He's a good example, though, because he's a guy who, as far as he was concerned, he should have been promoted.
I want to say it was LaForge is who I was thinking of, but
I was thinking Harry Kim. But anyway,
yeah, I mean, Harry Kim and LaForge kind of got a lot of the same beats to them, except LaForge got more character development. Anyway, keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
So the away mission begins, and the guys have their suits on and their pills and stuff like that, and they go towards the Kelpian. They transport to the Kelpian ship, and Tilly takes the captain's chair and starts rubbing that rivet to satisfaction. like it's amazing. It's amazing. Little finger up and like, oh yeah, I got these ideas. It's amazing what a little rivet can do. Now on the Kelpian ship, Mike's turned to a trill. I'm sorry, you want to add something?
No, I just was
Okay.
rubbing the rivet.
No problem. You got to use your thumb, mate. Use your thumb.
That's
On the Kelpian ship now, Mike's turned into a trill. Culber's turned into a fucking Bajoran. And funny enough, Saru, and the first expression on his face, he's turned into a human. I knew he would. Before he even came up on screen. The moment I saw Culber as a Bajoran, I thought, yeah, Saru's a human. How about you? Do you think that?
I mean, I it was a nice surprise, but I figured that's how it would play out. I mean, this is kind of one of those. It felt like a either original series or next generation trope. Not trope, but
It felt like an amalgamation of several episodes. Even some of the stuff they've done this season, like it felt very similar to the episode with the oh god, what's the name of that race with the air things around their mouth? It was this season.
Oh, I don't remember that race's name. I don't remember.
Has
mouth. Yeah, she has mouth.
No,
that's right.
The point is they went to that spaceship and they got the seeds from that doctor.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it felt a bit like that episode. It felt like the Riker episode when he was strapped on that hologram with that kid who just wanted a father figure. Remember that one?
Yep.
Yeah. So it had but anyway, we're going ahead of ourselves.
You know what's really funny, and this is just nitpicky, but I feel like I need to bring it up. I want to know if Michael knew, because Michael's the one who noticed that Culber was a Bajoran. Federation had never met the Bajorans at this point.
Yeah,
when they came into the future. So I mean, I'm not saying that they don't know what Bajorans are, but it's like I don't like they've never encountered them on screen. So like when Michael noticed, I mean, I'm sure maybe in like her year travel, she might have encountered a Bajoran or something like that and learned of them. But I mean, like I kind of wish it was like,
wouldn't have known.
Huh?
And Culber wouldn't have known either.
Yeah, but even if Michael, I kind of wish that there would have been like, she'd been like, "What? You're a Bajoran?" And then like he would have been.
Haven't we seen Bajorans in this time period?
Maybe in the background, but I don't consider that
like
I don't think they've had interactions with Bajorans.
Yeah, exactly. But as long as if we have seen them, fuck's sake, why can't these people stop fucking messaging me while I'm streaming? Anyways, whilst they get on that planet, because they're on that planet and they've been changed holographically, so much so that the limbs of Saru's changed as well, and he's now walking flat-footed for some. I mean, I never knew the holographic thing. It was just a hologram. He's not actually supposed to physically change your fucking body, but it does.
I thought he was still kind of tall. I couldn't tell, but I thought that his limbs kind of shortened. But
yeah,
he just kind of looks like a lanky guy. But at the same time,
he's a tall, skinny guy, but he's even taller when he's dressed up as Saru because he's standing on those stilt things.
Yeah.
And he's actually on his toes when he's doing it. You know what I mean? So he's even giving himself more elevation. So he looks super fucking tall when he's playing Saru. But it was a bit weird, all of that. Nevertheless, let's continue. Their supplies are not on them as well. And so they've basically got 4 hours before they fucking turn into fucking red goo, I guess.
So if everything's holographic, I have a question. If everything's holographic, then where did their supplies go? Did they ever? I didn't hear the answer to that.
Yeah, then they skipped over the whole time I was thinking to myself, how's he feeding himself? He's not eating holographic apples, is he?
Yeah, no.
So I always found
unless the program is using a replicator, like maybe they have like a projection replicator that just replicates it, but it doesn't have to be in the actual replicator. It can just project it onto like a table. I don't know. I mean, it seems like the ship, and you're probably going to get into this, but it seems like the ship was basically meeting his needs, and like any needs in general.
I was just there just to get him through it. I think more. I mean, not necessarily his needs, but to educate him to get him through it, which is why he had different holograms, because we come across certain holograms and a lot of them are malfunctioning because of the radiation. But there was a good one with the Federation meeting the Kelpians, and we get to see a different type period of Federation outfit as well, which was kind of nice. It was all white looking and stuff. I'm sure that those are hard to fucking keep clean. Nevertheless, they give us a bit of information dump and basically understand that these people are here to rescue the child. They understand that the child, and they're talking about the Kelpian who's on this. No, I said the child, because we come across a Kelpian, you see, and he's a bit of a man child. He's what you would call it. He's been living in this artificial world,
isolation,
in this artificial world his entire life. And he doesn't know about an outside world. You know, he's in his own fucking Truman Show without cameras watching him. Some of these scenes in this area, like we saw some of the steps and stuff around here, and it reminded me of the fourth Indiana Jones movie, The Kingdom of Crystal Skull. It's so shit. I forgot the subtitle. Do you remember that part just before they go into that cave to find the Crystal Skull? They're running around all these steps and stuff, and there's this guy, there's this Inca guy with a fucking blow shoot thing, and it's quite interesting. It's quite.
I honestly have not seen that movie until since it came out in theaters. I went and saw it at like $1 theater back in the day.
Anyway, it's reminding me that setting and stuff like that. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Basically, there's also this monster as well behind this door, and this monster has some significance to play. I don't know exactly what, but it's something about the Kelpie having to face its fears, and that monster is its fears. And because he's never really been worried about anything, that monster's always been locked away. You know, this is his world. It's just a simple world. He's got nothing to fear. So the monster's been locked away. But because he sees the Discovery crew, he shits himself, and the monster gets released. And it's a holographic monster, and Michael tries to try to figure it out, you know, understand it. And
but here's the thing with the safeties off, even in the 24th century, a hologram with the safeties off can kill you. You know, so I mean, we
never got an idea. The safeties were not off, and I'll tell you why. Because when that monster chased her, she fell off the cliff edge, and she got elevated into the sky, and that made me realize that the safeties were not off.
Well, yeah, because the creature never touched her. I don't think, did it?
It chased her. It scared her.
It chased her, yeah, but I don't think it ever touched her. So I mean, you're probably right. The safeties were on.
There were times when it was jumping around her, and I think to myself, why is it just not going after her? He's right next to her. Why is it going this way now? It's just there. She's, you know what I mean? You're faster than her. You're a fucking wind. You know what I mean? You can catch her, no problem. But anyway, she then you want to continue? You want to talk about? Actually, we'll talk about it as I go along. She wakes up, and the Kelpian man-child is there, and he assumes that she is a fucking hologram. And
he's never seen anything else at this point. So,
well, not for a long time, because the last living person he probably saw was his mum. So yeah, so she plays the part of a hologram to extract information. These were sort of interesting scenes. What do you think of all of this?
I mean, it was good. It felt very Trek, like for them to stumble, like even though I know they're trying to build towards the burn and everything like that, but the origin of the burn, but it felt very Trek where they stumble upon this ship or this station or whatever, and there's a holographic thing going on, and they have to figure it out. And there's this one alien on there that's the centerpiece of it all, and the holograms are trying to stop. It felt this episode felt very Trek to me, like, you know, in that aspect. I mean, it felt like one of those holodeck adventure episodes.
Now, we were cutting back and forth between the Kelpian ship and Discovery, but I'll get back to Discovery in a second. I want to keep talking more about what happens on this Kelpian ship. So, Saru and Culber finds this elder Kelpian hologram, which I found immediately bizarre. Thinking to myself, hold on, you motherfuckers kill yourselves, yeah, because you're worried about this Vasari or whatever the fuck it's called, Vahari and shit. Yeah, like
but I think they figured that out ages ago. That like back in old Discovery time, like before Kirk.
Yes, no, but we had the Kelpian who would say, we had Saru talk about how when he was younger he would talk to the elders, and they would talk about these elders. Remember, he mentioned that.
No, I guess that's true. I didn't think about that.
And I just found seeing this old Kelpian. And he goes, "This is the Kelpian old." I'm thinking, how the fuck do you know, mate? You guys don't live that long. You're probably the first one to go this far. It's like, for fuck's sake. Oh god. Anyways, they did explain it. They did give an explanation, but I didn't like the explanation. I thought it was bollocks. So they basically pumped this Kelpian for information. They pumped this elder Kelpian for information, and he was the one who basically tells them, "Look, if you want to get the fuck out of here, then this young Kelpian boy needs to face his fears." And I've realized as well that this Kelpian is 145 years old. He's been on that ship
How
because
old was Saru? I never really heard how old Saru was before
I have no idea how old Saru is. I have no idea about the age of
whatever.
All I know is that they keep surprising me. There's more to them than meets the eye. I mean, Saru's got like eyes of a hawk and ears of a puma. You know what I mean? In that one particular episode.
All right.
And then we
I will be right back. You keep going, okay?
No problem. And as I was also saying, you know, Kelpians are fucking strong as well. So they keep surprising us. Now we're going to go back to the Discovery ship here because whilst Michael and co are on the Kelpian ship, Discovery have got their own things to deal with. I do apologize. I'm just trying to get my notes here. So the radiation in the area of space they're in is affecting Discovery. So everyone's working around the clock to keep the ship together. And at the same time, the comms get information that a Federation ship is approaching. But there's something a bit fishy about this Federation ship that's approaching. But even though it has all the signatures and is giving off the vibe of a Federation ship, they're not responding to hails. And Tilly notices something up. She decides to check on the information around the ship, and they realize that this is not a regular Starfleet vessel, and so it was just using a signature to mask it. And so they realize it's Osara, and Osara comes in and she uncloaks and shit with a big ass fucking ship, and then Tilly realizes that they're in a pickle and they need time to think of the situation. So she puts herself on cloak, and so does Osara's ship. Gives them a little bit of time. So this is now where Tilly has to sink on her feet as an acting first officer in a combat situation. We get a little bit of back and forth between Tilly and Osara. You know, they're giving, and I have to say, Tilly held herself pretty well. I do apologize. Where the hell?
I agree with you. This is one of my favorite parts of this episode, just because, as I said, Tilly, I love Tilly the character. It just makes no sense that she's the first officer, even acting first officer. So I mean, but yeah, she did. She held her own. Again, in a verbal confrontation against, this Osiris chick or whoever this is. I am kind of glad also that the Orions are getting some shine, just because I feel like they never get enough. Like, they're the sexy ladies in the original series. They had a couple good episodes in Enterprise, but it's like, beyond that, where do we see the Orions? They were never in TNG, barely in Next Generation, obviously never in Voyager. It's like, I'm glad that actually the Orions are getting a little bit of shine here.
Yeah, you're right. And we get to see more of Osara, and she's being her badass, because even though I missed out a significant part. See, we're going back and forth between Discovery and the Kelpian ship, because they're having to, get this Kelpian boy, man-child, to face his fears, face this fucking demon monster thing, so they can get the fuck out of this ship. And they're also dying on this ship as well, at least we forget, because there's so much radiation. And the fear brought into the Kelpian was so much for him that he ended up creating a shockwave, like an EMP blast. Now, Tilly knows that they have to rescue those people. We're back on Discovery now. And Tilly knows we have to rescue those guys. So he sends Book down she sends Book down in his ship to go save them. And Adira, she also, by the way, she smuggles herself on the ship without, she gets the badge from What's-Her-Face, and she goes there as well. So as soon as Book leaves, Osara basically hijacks Discovery, takes it over, mind controls fucking Stamets. And we get Book going down to try and rescue Mike. Adira is on the ship. She then uses her badge to teleport down to the Kelpian ship with medicines and supplies. And Mike is now coming back because she told Saru, and Culber volunteered as well to stay on the ship to help this guy. So that's what's happening there. And as Mike and Book try to go back to Discovery to rescue it, because it's been taken over by Osara, they're gone. And they've got the spore drive. And it ends. And I'll be honest with you, when it did end, and as we were progressing, and as Osara took the ship, and I was realizing how far we got into this episode, I thought, fuck, this is going to end with the bad guys winning. And I have no problems with that, but we just finished a two-parter. and this feels like another two-parter.
It does feel very much. I was actually going to bring that point up. You're right.
It does, and that was one of the things I felt like, come on. Like, after you finish a two-parter in the show, you don't want to give us another one. And this left us on the cliffhanger, and I don't mind that. But
it felt like a two-parter, though.
But it felt like a two-parter, and then we get the credits at the we get the what do you call it? The glimpse into the next episode, and it looks like they're going to get Discovery back. So I'm already predicting that this is the episode they lose Discovery. Next episode they get Discovery back, and the following episode they take care of Osara.
Sounds about right. I mean,
they've already figured out the burn. They know where the dilithium is. It's all good. That's already taken care of now. That's dealt with. You know what I mean?
That I want to know, and I know I'm going to kick myself for asking this, but what? Okay, so this Kelpian is now responsible for the burn? Like,
yeah.
Okay, why?
Because he's been around that shit, that dilithium planet and all that shit. And he's kind of, look, he was the only one not affected by the radiation. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everyone else was fucking dying, and he wasn't. Because
he adapted in utero.
But yeah, this is science fiction we're talking about here, dude. He's merged himself with the dilithium, and if he shits himself, he fucking causes a giant fucking EMP sort of pulse around the entire galaxy that destroys dilithium. That's what happens. So you just don't scare this guy, and your dilithium supplies are right. But I have a feeling, you know what? There's a couple of things that's worrying me. I have a bad feeling. They might kill Saru off this season.
Really?
Yeah, I have a bad feeling about it. Yeah, you know,
I did not get that inkling, but don't speak such sad things.
Listen, I have a bad feeling about it, but I feel there was more setup for it than you realized. We saw people give Michael a little bit of a pep talk saying that she's captain the material, regardless of her being demoted. And recently we've been seeing Saru being not as good as a captain as he should be, with his mind occupied over certain things, and maybe not calling things right, and even having to have a little, rethink from the Admiral as well when it comes to talking to him. So I do feel that we could be, and we've got this moment with him and this other Kelpian, and I just have a bad feeling that Saru might give his life, or something along. He might just die there with that Kelpian. I think Culbert's got to live. I don't think they'll kill him off twice. That's stupid. But I do think they'll give us the big shock of killing off. What do you call it? Saru, and then the Admiral will, without a doubt, without a hesitancy, will make Michael the captain, because I think he likes Michael as professionally, of course. But I think he likes her very much in that sense. I
think the Admiral's going to die. Is who I think is going to die next.
No way. No way.
So. I think so. I think the Admiral's going to die next episode.
The reason why I said Saru is that Saru and Culber and the Kelpian, we didn't even get a glimpse. I mean, it's good in a way. I'm glad they don't give too much away in these trailers. But watching this show a second time, I didn't see one little iota of those three in the next episode. So
I hope you're wrong. I don't want Saru to die.
I don't want Saru to die either, but I feel like they want to give us a shock.
See, but then they get early seasons of the Flash problems, where it's like every season Flash had to kill somebody off in a season, And it's like that you eventually just stopped caring about who they killed off. You know what I mean? Like an Arrow
This
too.
is how it's gonna be. This is how it's gonna be. First season, Lorca was captain. Second season, Pike was captain. Third season, Saru's captain. Fourth season, Mike is captain. Fifth season, Tilly's gonna be captain.
Oh,
And this, and they haven't thought about season 6 yet. They haven't laid in the plans. But I feel that having a different captain every season is how this show's gonna go, and it feels like it's gonna do that. I think it's gonna be that formula.
I hope not. I know. I really feel like we need to settle with the. I'm.
Do you think I have something there? Though? Do you think I have something there?
Maybe. Well, maybe. I mean, they do seem to have that formula where there's a captain a season, but maybe they don't kill off the captain. Maybe Saru gets it, and maybe Saru gets.
Dude, he needs to be on Discovery, man. He's not leaving. He's not leaving unless he's dead.
Well, I mean, I hope not. I'm not saying it's impossible, obviously, but
I mean, the other thing could be that he could go live with the Kelpians and shit like that, and
he might. Maybe he'll leave Starfleet and leave Discovery to Burnham, which I hope not. God, I hope.
I just do feel. I do feel that there's. There's something. I do feel there's some sort of sacrificial thing going on here. You know, like we're at the end of this. We're at the final stretch of the season now.
Yeah.
There's no. Oh, by the way, that dude from episode 2 has not come back.
You're talking about the weird guy in the bar?
Yeah, with the gray hair.
Maybe he won't. Maybe he's dead. Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
We'll see him. You know what? I guarantee it. If we're going to be dealing with Osara's world and shit like that, infiltration, that's where we'll see him. And luckily for Book and Mike, he's never seen them two. So that's where I think we'll get the interactions as well. You know?
Maybe.
Because he's only seen Tilly, Philippa, and Saru. So
I find it funny though, the episode after Philippa leaves, Discovery gets captured. Like Philippa was a lucky charm.
Jesus Christ, Philippa would have killed them all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes with Philippa on that ship.
I agree.
I'm surprised outside of Philippa because they've lost that alien with the fucking hooks. I forgot the name of the species again. I know it begins with a H.
I don't know. Do you know her name? I'll look it up.
No, B is Baz. Baz.
Benzars.
Benzors. Oh, something like that. Anyway, I forgot the name of the species. The point is, they've lost all their muscle. Really, I mean, I think Detmer can handle herself. She looks like she can kick some ass. You know what I mean? I would like to see her cybernetics come into play a little bit as well, in some way or another, more than just the PTSD.
She's not a Benzar. You mean the one from episode, the one with the seed ship?
4. Yeah, the seed ship.
No, she's not a Benzar.
No, but they haven't got her either. Yeah, like she was on that ship, but she stayed on the Benzar seed ship, and so she was muscle, but she's gone. Philippa's gone. They've lost all their big hitters. Michael, she can kick ass. She's not on that ship either. You know, so all their ass kickers are gone. So even Saru can kick ass now. Man, he's got fucking inbuilt fucking rocket launchers behind his fucking, rocket darts behind his ears and shit. So all their ass kickers are gone. They're only with the beta crew, so to speak. And it's going to be interesting to see how they get themselves out of it. But we can already tell that they are, unfortunately, by the giveaway of the trailer, it looks like they are going to get the ship back. I mean, there's no way Osaru is going to fucking keep Discovery. No fucking way. You know? I do feel, though, that the parting of these two, whether Osaru gets killed off this season or she doesn't, I do feel there's going to be ramifications of it, for sure. There's going to be some crisis. There's going to be some tragedy by the end of this. I do feel the main character might die, which is why I'm going for Saru.
I hope not.
I hope not either. That's the funny thing. It's not like I want Saru to die. He's the last person I want to die. But In a way, I hope they've already done that big kill off by getting rid of Philippa, but you never know. That's
Maybe they'll
twice.
kill Michael. I know.
I doubt that. Like I said, a lot of I understand people's issues with Michael Burnham, that she's on the show too much. I just don't dislike Michael Burnham. I like Michael Burnham a lot. I think she's a great character. She just hogs the limelight too much, as far as the writers are concerned. She's involved in everything. She's never really in every episode. She's been involved in everything. Even the Philippa episode, she was there at the door before Philippa went through it. She's involved in everything, and that's the problem with Michael. But I do like the character a lot. She's grown on me. She's a great character. She's not perfect either, which is what I like about her. But she does I think for the greater good, you know. And she's not jealous. She doesn't suffer from things like jealousy and shit like that. She was very happy for Tilly, you know. Still is. There's no hint of jealousy at all coming from her, you know. And she wants Tilly to do well and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very hard to dislike her outside of the fact that she hogs too much screen time.
I was looking it up. They're called Barzan. So you're right. It was a B, but it's not it's a Barzan.
Yeah, Barzans. So yeah, they were the muscle. They're gone.
I know we're going way back. It took me that long to find it.
Michael's gone. Saru's gone. You know, I've even seen Culber, have a fight with that fucking Klingon human in season 2, which was pretty cool. He's got some guns on him, Culber, man. Have you seen him without his fucking shirt on? He's got fucking arms, man. He's built like a brick shithouse. He's like fucking Culber, man. He's fucking muscular, mate.
Yeah.
The Doctor, he's muscular as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that's why Stamets likes him so much.
Yeah, you can't blame him. So, yeah. So, I'll give this episode I'll give it a 6 out of 10. That's a generous.
Give it a 7.
I'll give it a 6 out of 10 because I there was a little bit, even though it was a well filmed episode, it looked beautiful. There wasn't much originality. There were some good moments in it. It was weird. We're going to change a human into a Trill, and then we're going to change a Kelpin into a human. I mean, you could just get the human.
That whole thing was in service of turning Saru into a human.
Yeah, and I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that at all.
I didn't mind it either, but it was just like Bajorans and Trill look enough like humans that I don't think that the Kelpian would have had an issue. But it's like, I can see why they made Saru a human. So it's like, if they would have left all of them the same and then Saru was just looking like a human, I would have been fine with that. But, they just wanted to bust out the nose plates they used for the Bajorans, and, they wanted to dot up Burnham's face.
Yeah, and like you said, they didn't even see any fucking much differences anyway.
No, so, I mean, as I said, they just put that little nose plate on Culber, and I mean, that was it.
Exactly. But, it was an okay episode with tropes I've seen before. I was more interested in what was going on Discovery with the B plot than I was with the A plot and what's going on in the Kelpian ship.
I felt
the tense.
Go ahead.
It felt very tense what they were dealing with, and I felt more interested in Tilly's story of being acting captain, because she's captaining the fucking starship, and she's in a hostile situation with the Federation's worst enemies. And, yeah, it was. I found that fascinating, more so than Michael doing a similar mission she's done before. This was new ground as far as I was concerned, and I wanted to see more of that.
I mean, I gave it a 7 just because I was equally vested in both stories going on. I really liked the where they were slowed down inside the Hollow ship or the Kelpian ship, how everything was slowed down, and it was more of a Trek episode. I felt like it felt like on the ship, like on the Kelpian ship, it was more of a Trek episode going on. On Discovery, it was more of a Discovery episode going on, where they're fighting some big, huge, weird-looking ship that should be able to blow it out of the water, but then everybody's cloaking, and I mean, it was fine, and it was fun watching Tilly, but
There were moments on the Kelpian ship that I loved it when fucking Michael pretended to be a hologram. That was
Mhm.
genius. Absolute genius. I loved
I
it.
I liked it too. I thought
Yeah.
and I thought that
There's
fit
mo-
with her season 1 personality.
but at the same time, and I also like the Federation holograms who gave us some expedition, but then some of the other holograms I didn't like. I thought that maybe more would be explained next season, but the monster hologram felt really poorly written, you know, and the old Kelpian hologram was a bit stupid as well.
I
I
thought
wasn't.
that was I didn't think of it the way you did. I mean, I thought of it like, Kelpians can get old now because they don't have Varhara anymore, or they get through Valhara or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So I didn't think that was too bad. I mean, I kind of thought it was nice. And plus Saru was getting a little bit of education, because if you think about it, Saru doesn't know what it's like to grow old as a Kelpian. He's never seen it, obviously never experienced it. So it's like this hologram could explain to him, or even give him insight into what it's like to grow old as a Kelpian, and he's probably just fascinated by it.
Now, even though these guys are suffering from radiation poisoning, and you saw the odd blotch on their skin here and there, I wasn't feeling the anxiety of that, if you know what I mean.
I
And
wasn't either.
and
I forgot about it until they started commenting on it when they were walking to the Citadel.
and now with Adira beaming herself down onto that ship, I'm sure she'll save at least one of them. Yeah, definitely Culber. I think more Culber than Saru, because I think Saru will sacrifice himself because Culber's got Stamets and Saru has no partner, so to speak.
Saru's
And
got Discovery. He has to go home to Discovery.
Colbert's got Discovery too, mate.
No, Colbert's got Colbert. Colbert's got Stamets.
And he's got more than that, though. I mean, Colbert's got friends on that ship.
I
You
know.
know,
Well, Saru's got friends on that ship.
yeah, exactly. So, but
Save Saru. Hashtag save Saru.
I'm just saying, I'm just like, it just sings. I just
Really
can't
sounds
stop
like
shaking.
save
I
Saru.
really can't stop shaking the feeling that we're gonna get something tragic happening.
I really hope not, because I hate it when they do that. Like, we don't need to lose a captain. We don't need to lose any main cast members. I really don't feel like we need that this season. Like, them exploring this new world, just that's enough. Like, that is enough trauma that we need. Like, we don't need the end of the season to have some big shocking death.
Osara has now captured a holo Discovery. Someone's gonna die. I'm surprised she never killed anybody, to tell you the truth. Like, Tilly refused to give up a seat, didn't kill her. Detmer was sending off messages, didn't kill her. Yeah.
I don't feel like.
For a badass, she wasn't that bad. I think she wants to enslave people. She's into
I was about
slavery.
to say she's an Orion. She's into to enslavement and stuff.
Yeah.
Although we did establish during Lower Decks that is a bit racist to insinuate that they are just into slavery, just because they're Orions.
That was funny, that episode. And very Star Trek-y at the same time. It did make me laugh. So that was episode 11. Not the most memorable episode, as far as I was concerned. It's definitely set up for a finale. We've got 2 episodes left. Like I said, we're going to get Discovery back next episode, and then we're going to deal with Osara in the final episode. And we still have to deal with this Kelpian thing, because even though the burn has been figured out, more has to come from the revelation. If you know what I mean. I
Yeah.
mean, is this Kelpian now a super weapon? Can he? I was thinking personally, I think the Kelpian can't leave the vicinity he's in, because if he's not around dilithium all the time, he'll die or something.
I mean, that's a possibility. That's probably pretty accurate. Like, I didn't think of it that way, but you're probably right. He probably can't leave because his genetic structure is so dependent on, like, the radiation or the dilithium or whatever, that he probably just can't leave.
Exactly. I do think they'll use him, though. I do feel they'll use him to get back at Osira. They go, okay, mate, shit yourself. Just a little bit, though.
Just a little bit. Don't cause another burn. But okay, here's the thing, though, is that, okay, he did have that little explosion when they were there, and it almost caused the dilithium to shatter or whatever, to blow up. What the heck? What kind of shenanigans happened that
His mum died.
well, yeah, but still, like,
The first thought I had is like the death of his mate. I lost my mum, man. It's grief, dude. It's grief. Unparalleled, mate. Yeah, people react. I mean, I wouldn't maybe like the grief would just it's different. The only thing different is that it's grief. It's not fear. There is a bit of fear involved about unknown, how you will end up living without your mum who's always been there. But at the same time, it's a lot of grief. But what happened to that Kelpian with his monster, that was caused by fear. So I guess he was scared, or maybe when he went through Vahari, that done it.
well, I think maybe. But I mean, I think the fear of the outside, I think, is what they were trying to get through to the whole fear thing. Like he's scared to go outside. He's scared of what's through that door, which I think was a way out, maybe, or was that to the Citadel? I tried to catch that, and that's probably where I would have benefited from a second watch, but
I'm not sure. I don't even think he knows about a way out. I don't think it's even
well, he
plausible.
was talking about a way out, and then the hologram was talking about it's something through that door scares him.
Yeah. If he doesn't face his fears, then
Yeah.
not only is he stuck, they're stuck too. He has to face that Kelpian. Sorry, he has to face that Kelpian monster.
But I think the Kelpian monster is protecting him from going to the outside world. I think that's the inclination that I got.
That's a really good shout. That's a really good shout. But at the same time, it contradicts the programming of some of the other holograms, which have told him, "Are you here to rescue him?" and all of that. Remember when he spoke to the Federation holograms, and when he spoke to the Elder hologram. So there is a contradiction there, but you never know. I mean, it might be a plot hole in the writing.
Could be.
And you might be right with your theory. I hope with the plot hole in the writing, I hope now you're wrong. But I did like your idea until I thought of that. So hopefully we'll find out. But that is what is funny in the way that it feels like they need to resolve a couple of issues now. I mean, when we saw the trailer for next week, nothing to do with the Kelpian ship at all to do with rescue and discovery.
Well, that we know of.
Yeah, but their friends are dying from radiation at the same time. Wouldn't they be better rescuing their colleagues first?
No, but what's her face take the pills with her? Because remember, I thought they mentioned that.
Yeah, but they're still on a fucking ship full of radiation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and now Adira is there too, and so it'd be even unfortunately Discovery's been taken, but Michael will be better off rescuing her colleagues, and then getting the plan of action to get Discovery back. And it looks like, by the way, they've gone straight to the Federation.
Oh yeah. Well, no. Remember, she said when Adira sat on the throne, she was like, or the throne, the captain's chair. She said, "Oh, and the coordinates to Starfleet Commander already put in. How convenient."
Exactly. It'll be good to see. Yeah, it'll be good to see next week what happens there. I personally hope the Admiral doesn't die. You do make a good point, but I do feel that if they're going to stay in this universe, in this timeline,
I think they are at this point. I think they are.
And they need an anchor character, someone to represent them in this timeline, because unfortunately, when it comes to the Federation, we've only really seen the Admiral. We don't know anybody else. We had a moment with that officer, that security officer, when we first came across them, but we haven't seen anybody else really from the 31st Century Federation, which is a bit of a shame, because there should be more characters to come across from that period. I do feel we'll get the end game moment now, now Discovery's been taken, I do think we'll get Earth, Trill, Vulcan, Romulans all coming in.
Yeah, they'll
So,
probably come in to save. Like they'll probably come in to save Starfleet headquarters. I feel like.
now they know where the fucking dilithium's at and all that shit as well. You know what I mean? If you want dilithium, I mean, they need dilithium to get there, but I'm sure if they've got some emergency resources, then they'll use it to get to the dilithium supply, so they have unlimited resources.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I expect. So yeah, that's what I expect next week. Even though something like that should be left for the final episode, and that might happen on the final episode. Funny enough, yeah, that something like that might have to happen on episode 13. That big finale.
I mean, I feel like they need to kind of go big finale, and I'm not talking like season 2 big finale. That was a bit like with all the shuttle crafts flying around like fighters and the Enterprise, and that was not the kind of big finale you need. You need a big finale like Endgame, like you're saying, like everybody shows up and then they start fighting off the Emerald Chain, and then it's just this big like unifying moment. It's not like it's not an against the odds moment. It's a the everything that you've been building up to for this season is now cashing in right now, and that's what Endgame was in the MCU. A lot of those moments that they've been building up for 10 years was cashed out in Endgame. Almost,
Yeah.
so there was nothing left. They cashed every single chip out that they almost put in, and they created some more. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so
and they sowed the seeds for new things as well, like
yeah.
obviously the Falcon getting the shield and stuff like that.
But I'm just saying, like, yeah, but I agree with you. They definitely need that end game moment in here when all of a sudden, Vulcan ships start showing up, and then Trill ships start showing up, and then you got Andorian ships showing up. Maybe there's a faction of the Andorians that are still loyal to the Federation, and then you've got like all these the old Federation ships that. Or not old Federation ships, old Federation races that are now coming back to help Starfleet because Starfleet and Discovery have helped them.
Talking about the Andorians, they were supposed to be allies with the Orions, and
They are, and that's one thing that I thought. Well, and there were some Andorians on Adira's crew.
Osara, you mean?
Osara, sorry, yeah.
Okay, was there? I totally was oblivious to that, but
I think there was one. I mean, they were in the background, like they were just crew with guns, but I mean, they were there. I'm pretty sure.
Fair enough. Well, I pretty much think we covered everything we can regarding this particular episode. So unfortunately, we haven't got a Star Wars episode to talk about tomorrow, which will be a bit of a shame.
But me and Zam have talked about doing a highly illogical podcast now that things are slowing down a little bit. Maybe this weekend after the holidays are over, might do a little bit of time travel since the Guardian of Forever was. And if we decide to change it at the last minute, that's what we do.
Also tomorrow, Wonder Woman's coming out.
Oh, I forgot about that. I have to decide if I'm going to get HBO Max for 1 month so I can watch it.
I'm going to watch it some way, somehow.
Yeah, I know you're going to watch it some way.
But nevertheless, once I do watch it, whether it be with yourself, Bob, or on my own, I'll definitely do a quick review of that. So I'll give you guys my opinions on the film. But yeah, we have got more projects coming up in the future. Myself and Ginger Greek will definitely be talking about Cobra Kai when that comes out. We also have WandaVision, as well as all the other Marvel stuff coming out as well in the future. And we still got a couple more episodes of Discovery to go. So there will be more stuff, more reviews coming from us, as well as various other podcasts of all types, talking about all types of shit. So, Bob, you got anything more to say before we close this off?
Nope, I think we've covered it all.
Right, very good. So don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Don't forget to follow us on Discord, as well as YouTube and anything else you can think of. You can follow us on. Look for our logo. You see this logo? I'm pointing up there. I shouldn't be pointing up there. I don't know where the fuck to point right now.
I think it's like down here, technically.
Down somewhere over there, where the fuck?
Down where? Down. Oh, sorry. Crossed over.
But the point is that's our logo, because the name of Nerd Nation is quite commonly used by other nerds creating their own Nerd Nation. But if you want to join our Nerd Nation, just look for that logo. And when you go on Discord, when you go on Facebook, and you type in Nerd Nation, and you see that fucking logo, join us and be part of our motley little crew as we grow and make us better. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day. I'll see you guys on Saturday, and have a Merry fucking Christmas.